Well, good morning. It's Caroline Stevens, seeking the truth. It is really dark here this morning. I'm trying to get as many lights on as possible. Today, I'm going to be looking at a bit of a recap on the vaccinations from yesterday. I'm also going to start off with something called an all-party parliamentary group, and it's to do with our skies. Okay, so we'll start off with a bit of factual information. Excuse me. The Commission for Dark Skies, which was formerly the Campaign for Dark Skies, the name was changed in 2015, is the United Kingdom's largest anti-light pollution campaign group, forming part of the international dark sky movement. So even though we're supposed to be getting Brexit, remember we are still tied up with the international movements. So in a parliamentary group, well, I've been a member of one. I was a member of one about getting financial education debate in Parliament, and then it was to be rolled out into the school curriculum. In fact, it was a campaign that actually was spearheaded by a friend of an MP. Right, so all party parliamentary groups are informal cross-party groups that have no official status within Parliament. That's what Wikipedia says, no official status. It's honestly honest. What's the point of having them if they have no sway on the whatsoever? It's rubbish. Right, they're run by and for members of the House of Commons and the Lords. So they get together, and it doesn't matter which party. Well, we know they're all run by the same people anyway. So this is where advice is given through the all-party parliamentary groups. So although we've said that the Privy Council runs the UK, we've also got these all-party parliamentary groups. And of course, this is a cross between the House of Commons, House of Lords, and of course many of the Lords have, well, they've all got vested interests, haven't they? Let's be honest. So there are many choose to invite individuals and organisations from outside Parliament in their administration and activities. So, for example, when I was a member of an APPG on financial education for young people, I was asked to produce a report. I wasn't paid for it. They wanted to know my thoughts because I was going into schools and teaching children the importance of saving and not going into debt. So my name actually cropped up in the parliamentary debate. So we see these e-petitions, don't we, that fly around Facebook. And there was an e-petition which was set up by Martin Lewis, and they needed to get 100,000 signatures. And then there is the possibility that there will be a debate about the matter. Well, of course, he was a friend of an MP. So this is why I say that these debates are generally only successful if it's something that's actually orchestrated by the government, by the elites in the first place. Do you see? It's just smokescreen and mirrors. And so my name cropped up in this debate, and the evidence of debates are always found in Hansard. And what is Hansard? Well, it's the official report of all parliamentary debates, and you can find members, their contributions, debates, petitions and divisions from the reports dating back over 200 years. Daily debates from Hansard are published on this website the next working day. So let's take a look now at this new all-party parliamentary group, which seems to have been going under the radar. I must admit, I haven't seen really anything in the media, but then, you know, sometimes information comes out all in one go. So the APPG for dark skies was announced on the 6th of August 2020, and it's already launched its first policy consultation seeking proposals and evidence from a range of stakeholders with expertise and experience in the subject of dark sky preservation and light pollution. Okay, so this is the stakeholders. These are the business people, essentially. The purpose of the consultation was to collect information to identify the main threats and challenges that the cause of dark sky preservation faces in the UK, and identify the most effective and actionable ways in which legislators and policymakers can seek to address these challenges. So, of course, there's going to be more rules and regulations. So when we said we were going to have Brexit and we were going to take back control, that is not the case at all. Because this APPG is exploring the environmental, economic, energy and health consequences of light pollution. And the result of this consultation will be to produce the first policy plan since being established in January of this year. It will provide a basis for the focus of campaigns, policy briefs, and the language that our extensive group of parliamentary members use. So who's in this group? Well, I can name a few. There's two co-chairs. A Conservative MP called Andrew Griffith. He's the Conservative MP for Arundel and South Downs. Before being elected to Parliament in 2019, he was Group Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer at Sky, followed by the Chief Business Advisor to the Prime Minister. See, these people they're selected. Nothing's left to chance. Baron Rees of Ludlow is the other co-chair. Martin John Rees, a Baron Rees of Ludlow, is a crossbench peer in the House of Lords. He's a British cosmologist and astrophysicist. He has been astronomer royal since 1995 and was Master of Trinity College, Cambridge from 2004 to 2012 and President of the Royal Society between 2005 to 2010. Well, remember, it's a crossbench situation, so we go on now to Tim Farron, Liberal Democrat, Vice Chair. So these are the people that are actually giving the advice. Oh, it's one way of the government taking advice, and they're taking advice from all political parties. So what you see on Parliament's question times, Prime Minister's question times, that's just theatre. This is where it's really at. So we've got Tim Farron, Liberal Democrat, Graham Brady, Conservative, Philip June, Conservative. Right, so what does this now mean? Now I need my glasses for this, because they've produced a shortened version of the 10 dark sky policies for the government. And it's obvious that when you read what these policies are, there will be extra taxes for people, and that will come through their local councils. So when people think, oh, they've still got a job, they're a key worker, they're this, they're that, oh, so-and-so left me some money, or I'm living in somebody else's house and everything's okay, well, there's going to be more taxes, undoubtedly. They're not mentioning that bit yet, because they're just giving the recommendations for us people to follow. So, 10 dark sky policies for the government. So they want to update the existing legal framework, which is derived from statute and can only be amended by Parliament. New legislation is therefore likely to be necessary to truly protect the UK's dark skies and nighttime landscape. So they've got to strengthen the national planning policy framework, and they're going to start mentioning the control of obtrusive light in the national planning policy framework. Secondly, they've got to expand the scope of the planning permission process, introduce regulations for exterior lighting that are similar to those which currently cover advertisements. So I guess thinking about it, we're coming up to Christmas now, and a lot of people have lights on their houses. Well, that's obviously, reading between the lines, going to be a thing of the past, or you'll be taxed to the hilt for doing so. Strengthen statutory nuisance provisions, remove exemptions to give local authorities a more effective method of preventing nuisance lighting. So they're going to create a statutory commission for dark skies. So they're upping the ante now, lots more regulations. They're going to set standards for the brightness and colour temperature of lighting, establish legal limits for the amount of blue lights. They're going to set standards for the direction and density of lighting, and they're going to create best practice use for lighting. Oh, and they're going to issue penalties for non-compliance. So we shouldn't be surprised by any of this. They have now, the Jesuits have now to take back all our property and all our land. So they have to think of ways that for the remaining people who do have income or pensions, they have to work out how they're going to take our property back from us. And of course we know that we actually don't physically own any of our properties. We've been paying our mortgages off for years, but still we don't physically own it. Right, so that's really another taxation to look forward to. So please spend wisely at Christmas, because we have a lot to come next year. We're going to be heading up all this climate change malarkey at a conference. Boris Johnson wants us to be at the forefront of all of this. Well, he would, wouldn't he, as a Bilderberger? So I did a video yesterday, and I was talking about the vaccinations. So whether, because they're starting to test in the schools from January, and if I don't want to go over that now, please look at the video I did yesterday if you missed it, because it's really important. If you've got children or grandchildren, or even thinking about having a baby, please watch that video. Now, people weren't sure. I mean, a lot of us have written to our children's schools, and they say it isn't mandatory. Certainly not at the moment. But I just thought that I would go through various newspaper articles about what Matthew Hancock has said in the past. Now, in the middle of 2019, there was an article in the Sun newspaper, and it was headed Crackdown. And it said 500,000 kids could be banned from school if they haven't had the MMR jab. Health Secretary warns. That was Matthew Hancock. It comes as new figures from UNICEF show 500,000 British children are at risk of deadly measles because they haven't had the MMR jab. Now, I'm hopefully going to play, am I going to play this video? I'm hopefully going to play this video, and maybe I'm not going to, because it's gone all dark. So let's just see if I can get this video. It's going to come back. It's words that Matthew Hancock used in Parliament in the summer. But basically what he effectively said, my computer's gone to sleep. He effectively said, he was talking about anti-vaxxers, and he said that all the MPs must stand shoulder to shoulder with each other against people who didn't want their children vaccinated. And that was it, really. It was less than 2 minutes standing up in Parliament. So we're getting the picture here. They keep dropping these little articles out. Oh, let's see if I can get it. See if I can get it. Right, okay, we'll go for this, hopefully. Come on, Matthew. It's not like you to be shy.
I'm grateful to him, Mr. Deputy Speaker, for support on what we're doing on vaccines. And I'm also grateful to him for his offer to stand shoulder to shoulder against the anti-vaccination movement. Those who promulgate lies about dangers of vaccines that are safe and have been approved, they are threatening lives, and we should all in this House stand shoulder to shoulder against the anti-vax movement.
That's basically what he said. I've not seen him be vaccinated, and I'd be interested to see his children being vaccinated for sure. I think he's got 3. So I thought, well, I want to give people some hope now. I was watching a testimony this morning of a guy who had spoken at one of these tribunals, and he'd said about how he managed to turn his life around. And that was, and he was saying what bad path he'd been on, and that then you just keep gravitating towards bad people, you know, people who are criminals in our eyes, which, you know, it's like the parliamentarians. Now, I found some words that were given to a friend of mine in August of 2011. So this is going back over 9 years. And these were words given to her from our Creator. Son, I have heard you cry for understanding as to the future for this country and for your part that I require of you. Firstly, let us address the state of the UK. Son, as of old, I have witnessed the turning away of the people of this nation from the beliefs and standards that prevailed in the past centuries, and whereas their physical lifestyles have improved, yet morally they are bereft. They have embraced rules and concepts that are not of my making, standards that are as bad or even worse than those practiced by my people in the days before my son visited the earth. This despite the ways so clearly demonstrated by my son and the generations after him. Son, I am appalled by the degradation of the British society, and I warn you now that the dire consequences of their misdeeds and departure from me are about to fall upon them. Calamitous times lie ahead for this country as I bring them to their knees and to seek in me as in former times. Son, I want to dramatically impact the UK again, such that it will again be Great Britain, where the great refers to a great that embraces their faith and dependence upon me, and a great that reflects the blessings that I pour out upon them. Even as I restored my people in former times, so it is my desire to restore the UK such that it again will be a prosperous nation full of my blessings and provision, and again being a light to the rest of the world as it was a mere century ago. Son, that is the state of the country from my perspective, and your part is to bring this warning to my people, such that they can rise up from their slumber and take their place in the renewal that I so desire for the morals and standards of the UK. Indeed, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear them from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. That's 2 Chronicles 7 verse 14. When they take this to heart and act upon it, I will indeed change things around and bring this country back from the abyss, back to health again. Son, I have such an affection for the UK, and I desire for them to become a light to the rest of the world again. Do not despair, for I am well able to do abundantly above all you can think or ask. Only be faithful to this call, and see the glory of the Lord come down and inhabit your community, your county, your country. Ask not of God for yourself, ask for the country. How can we put things right? We need to turn back and seek guidance from Him, from our Creator, the person who created, the being that created us. So we've got some problems ahead, and who do we turn to? I saw somebody had sent me a note about suggesting we boycott the EU of their goods about the no deal Brexit. Well, don't worry, this is just media spin. You know, we're going to be in a bit of a sticky situation for quite some time. And yes, I'm smiling because I'm thinking back to all those comments for the past couple of weeks or months even, from people who believe we will be far better off on the 1st of January. Not with our government. They have not made provisions to look after us. And just think, if they were so concerned about our children's health, why is it that we've got the Codex Alimentarius rules regarding food? Why is it that people are not allowed to use oils to cure cancers, or to not cure cancers, but to alleviate cancers, because it's unlawful in their eyes with Big Pharma to say such terrible words. They spray us, they adulterate our food, they adulterate our drinking water, and people still think that our government cares for us. No, this is the UN Agenda 2030, the UN 21, the new Green Deal. You wait, we've got like a bit, you know, we think we've got the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's a truck, a bulldozer coming the other way. Because we can see those lights, because there's going to be dark skies ahead. Gosh, how this is all going to manifest itself, I haven't got the time to read all these documents. But I've given you the dark skies in a nutshell. We are being punished. And we need to turn back to whoever is our source, our creator, and ask for help and for forgiveness as well. But it can be turned around. I truly believe it can be turned around. And that's all I can say. Faith can move mountains. And at this moment in time, we've got a huge mountain to climb. So thanks for watching and listening. Please do share. There is hope, there is faith. But it's up to you now. The power is from within. and I can't do all this on my own. Goodbye for now. It's